Hey guys, we're at this job where we got 3 outlets out. This one's off, this one's off, and this one's off, and this one's off. I got here a little late. Alicia's got all these out. What we're going to do is, if this was installed at a later time, which you can tell it was, and it goes to here, then this is the end of the run. But if we do a continuity check from here to there, and it isn't part going this way, then it means it might be going up this way, which would throw us way off. But Alicia's sure that it's going from here to here. The way we do that is we take our continuity tester and our wire, and we hook one up to the red and then one up to the black, and we just touch that wire with that wire, and if it has continuity on the black side, then we're good to go. Basically all we did was we put our meter on this wire, this test lead, like that, and we put one end on the black wire and the meter on that wire, and the continuity on this tester lit up telling me that the wire from here is the same wire over here. So we know that this is feeding that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go here, here. These are off. So Alicia wants to check into this one here first. And then if that isn't the problem there, then we're going to go upstairs and check out that outlet. We know they're working up there, but we don't know that it's feeding. They can be working, but not necessarily feeding. So bottom line is, upstairs there's a bedroom, and that outlet could be feeding down here to here to here to here. So, or it can be feeding from here to there. So we're going to do a continuity test. We're going to shut the breaker off to that, and we're going to put a tester from here to there and see if it's the same wire. If my continuity lights up, then most likely this is where our issue is going to be. Hey guys, we're back. Well, we're heading back to that job where we had that electrical issue. The video is really choppy because, you know, the guy was hovering over us and wanted to know if we found it yet. Basically what it was, it's a family room and it has 2 outlets on the short wall. As you go in, there's an outlet, and then somebody added an outlet for a TV. So, actually, I'm sorry, there's 4 outlets. When you go back to the room, you got one outlet, one outlet on the side wall, and then somebody added an outlet to the TV above the fireplace. We checked to the outlet, and then somebody put mirror over the long family room wall. They put mirror, and they didn't cut holes for outlets. Every time I've seen mirror wall to wall, they always cut the holes for the outlets, and they put a nice little mirror plate for the outlet. Anyway, I knew because of the length of the wall that there's outlets there, 1 or 2, at least 1, because code. So with that being said, we did our due diligence. We tested the outlets above those outlets. We tested them to the left. We tested them to the right. And we just came to the opinion that the problem has got to be behind the mirror. So we tried talking to other owners in that condo complex, and because it was New Year's Eve, there was nobody. And so finally, the owner got a hold of somebody next door, and they said, yes, there is one outlet. So he took measurements of the wall where that outlet is. So now we're going back knowing that there is an outlet behind the mirror, and we kind of know where it is. So, you know, I don't understand why a mirror company would cover up an outlet, because that is a junction box. If you're not using it for an outlet, then now it becomes a junction box to go from one outlet that's accessible to the other outlet that's accessible. But now you covered that up. So what we're going to do is, rather than try to remove mirror, have the mirror removed, or break the mirror, we're going to go from the garage side. Now that we got measurements, we'll go ahead and measure out where we think it is, and then we'll drill little 1/4-inch holes, and we'll send our camera in until we find it. Then once we find it, then we'll go ahead and cut a big hole so we can get in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make that a access hole. We're going to put an access plate. That way in the future, if there's ever an issue with that, you'll always be able to get back there. In other words, whatever repair that we do, it's never going to come apart. We're going to wire nut that thing or whatever we're going to do, and we're going to tape it. It's never going to come undone unless the wire breaks in the insulation or something. But we still want an access panel there for the next guy, because if something ever happens, we're probably going to be the next guy. So with that being said, we're going to put an access panel, but this access panel is going to become kind of permanent but available, because it is a firewall, and we're probably going to make sure that we put some sort of caulking around the access panel. That way fumes don't get in there and into the wall. So we will make that access panel, fume safe, where fumes can't get into it. But it's still not firewall safe. And right now, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I thought, well, maybe I could just put a piece of drywall back in and plaster it, but then, if you need to get in there, I don't know. I'm probably just, the owner wants an access panel. So with that being said, I thought, well, maybe I could put an oversized piece of drywall in there. I don't know what I'm going to do, guys, just to be honest with you. I don't know. But I am going to put an access panel until I figure it out, because the owner wants an access panel. But I will make it fume tight, where the fumes of the car cannot go into the wall and then into the house. That's the most important part. I mean, if you have a fire, well, chances are that's not going to help much or do anything. It's more about getting the fumes, the carbon monoxide, into the walls and then into the house. So we're going to make sure that won't happen, at least that much. It's not going to be 100% code, but it's going to get him out of a pickle. So if for some reason that the wires going to it is dead and the short is somewhere else, then we're just going to run some conduit and a new circuit to that one outlet that will feed the other ones and isolate the bottom wires that used to feed it. We'll isolate those wires. That way it's safe, 100% safe. And it'll be on its own circuit. It'll be just a little bit of conduit from the box over. Anyway, with that being said, when we get there, I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, guys. This outlet, I think, belongs to the outlet that's behind here, that's covered up. But this is the one that's not working. Neither is that one, or the add-on behind the TV. So we did, before we came to the thinking that it's behind the mirror, we did check this guy, and because we think it might be feeding this one. It may or may not, but we checked it to make sure everything that's going out is hot. And we went upstairs and we checked all those outlets, thinking, well, maybe it's feeding it from up there, down here, and over. That's always a possibility. And the gentleman said that there was no outlet there. So then we got a hold of the guy next door, and he says there is an outlet. And he measured it from that wall to here. So now Vinny is transferring that measurement right over here. He measured from the floor up to here, and then he added his inches from that floor up to get what he needed. And then he measured from this wall to over there, and then added the thickness of the wall, and then got to the spot where he thinks it is. So there is a stud on the left right there, right where his number is. So now he's made a little hole that we can patch up easy, and he's going to send his camera in there he's going to send his camera. He found the stud. So he's going to just probe with this camera until we find it. And then we'll see what we'll do next. Okay, guys, he's got his wall about. And it says that there is some electrical or a pipe.
See that block?
Yeah. What is that?
That's heat or some shit. That's what expert mode. I don't know if it's heat or something, but
It looks like heat.
Here, on image, you get pipe and wire.
Okay, that might be the heat from the wire.
Or, yeah.
And
then you go over here. If you go down a little bit.
How high up does that go? That's the stud, right? There's a stud there.
That's where the height would be for an object, for our outlet.
Right.
Which is almost in
right, and and that could be hot. How high up does that wire go? See, work that thing all the way up until it stops. It stopped, right? So that's probably wire. No, it's there, right? Keep going up with it.
Yeah, I have to balance it.
Okay, guys, we're going to play with this a little bit, and I'll let you know what we find with it. We'll duplicate it if we find something. Okay, guys, we find some heat right there, and it's the same height as the box, where the box should be. That could be the electrical box because it is shorted out. Who knows? There might be some heat there.
It looks like a box too.
Yeah, it almost looks like a box too. Put it back to image. So if you put it to image, move it to the left. There. And now up. See, it looks like it's attached to the. It looks like it's attached to the stud, right? Mm-hmm. So why don't we get off the stud to the left and put a hole there. And see if we can send the camera in. Okay, guys, we're going to try to figure this out. Okay, guys, he's thinking the box is there, and he drilled 3 holes next to each other to elongate it so he can bend his camera down. So we're going to get a camera in there and see what's next, okay? Okay, guys, he's going to cut a hole. We don't know what's on the other side, so we're using this so we don't cut no wires or anything. So, okay, guys, he got into there, and he seems to think he found the electrical. It's probably on a little bit past the stud on this side. Where did you see the electrical?
Well, if I go, there's a stud right here.
Uh-huh.
And my mark's right here.
Uh-huh.
It's roundabout.
Right.
So I don't see it on this stud. I'm riding the stud. Oh, let me get better. You see that right there?
Right there? That?
Yeah.
Oh, that is Romex. Okay, so guys, we're going to
dig. Not Romex, Flex. Metal.
Oh, it is Flex?
Yeah, look at the rigid right there. You see it?
Huh.
I know this screen's really hard to see on an angle.
It has a zoom on it. Let me see the zoom.
The light's this one.
Oh, it doesn't have a zoom? I guess not. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's probably okay, guys. We're gonna just try to cut a hole on the other side and figure it out. Yeah, it does kind of look like it's Flex. Okay, guys. I went off the measurements that the tenant gave me and the other owner across the street, but they're way off. And I'll tell you what I think. The measurements that they gave me was 57. That would have been there. Anyway, we found the wiring. The wiring's going here and going to here, and it's hot. It's good. I think what's going to happen is that wiring is going to go to the next one, and it's going to be going to an outlet, and then the wiring going out of that outlet is probably going to be bad going to the one on the other side of that wall. But if you look at the builder who built this house, every outlet, if it has one outlet, it's in the middle of the wall. If you have 2 outlets, it's measured beautifully from one end to the other. So why would a builder at 57 inches put the outlet way off center? Usually, if you can see how the builder's doing things, it tells me that it should be in the middle of the wall. So we've been going though because they gave us the measurements and we're trying, and these are just little hole patches, no big deal. But with that being said, we're tracing it, and the Romex is still hot, but it's probably going to go somewhere over here and drop down to a box, and then the wiring coming out of it might be dead, because we don't know what the mirror company did. I don't think the mirror company left the outlet on the wall. I think they probably wire netted everything together and pushed it into the box and then put their mirror over it. That way, because if they leave the outlet, it would be pushing the mirror out a little bit. But let me just show you what I'm saying. Right here, guys. If you notice, that's right in the center of the wall. This one is perfect from here. Same with this one. A little bit off. This one's center. So why would the measurements they gave me was the outlet's way over here? I think the builder probably put it more like over here. So now we're just going to go with our gut and go from there. Basically what we're saying is that Romex that's in that wall is coming this way, is hot, and it's going to go to an outlet, and then the Romex coming out is probably going to be dead coming over to here. So we'll see. Okay guys, their measurement was way off. We found the box. The wire is coming all the way to here, and the box is in there down below. The wire coming in is hot, and the wire coming out is dead. So now we turned off the breaker over here. And now we're going to put an access panel. That way he can always get to it in the future. We're going to patch these up, and we're going to put an access panel right there. So we're going to get, what we're going to do is, let me draw a picture for you guys what we're going to do. Can I have your pencil?
Yeah.
I'm going to draw them a little picture of what we're going to do. Pencil's right there. Okay, guys, this is what we're going to do. You have a box, an outlet box right here. We're up here with our hole up here. You got a wire coming through the stud into the box and another one going out, probably to that outlet that's dead in there. This one's dead. This one's hot. So we're just going to cut it here, put a box inside the wall, a long one. That way, if we put a long box, that way this wire, when we cut it here, we can feed it in, and there's plenty of room. And then we feed this one in, and then we wire nut them together and put a plate, and just let it hang. Unless we can find something to mount it to, we'll just let it hang. Who cares? And then we're going to put an access panel over it like this. That way, if there's ever a problem, they know where to go to get it. That should work. Okay, guys. Alicia's getting these buttoned up over here. We got the box right here. We're going to snip that wire, snip this wire, and then put our box in here and just leave it on top of the insulation, and we'll put an access panel around here, a nice one. We're going to put a small one, this guy right there. That way, if they ever have problems, they know where to go and how to fix it. These fucking stupid mirror guys. Vinny was able to break that plastic and look in there. It looks like they just wire nutted, not wire nutted, they twisted the wires together and put a bunch of black tape. What a bunch of stupid motherfuckers. Anyway, they're both dead. We shut the breaker off. He's going to cut those, and we'll get it fixed. Now, guys, we're going to, before we box it all up and put it in a box and shit, we're going to wire nut them together and then turn on the breaker and go test the outlets. Hopefully everything will be good. And you see he just snipped those wires. And listen, guys, you're right. This ain't code. This is a repair. But as long as it's a safe repair, that we make sure everything is fireproof, it's in a metal box, it's got a lid, everything's connected, and maybe we can even put a screw in the box to hold the box in and cover it. The only thing that's bad is that you got an access cover, and what we're going to do is we're going to put caulking around here. That way, if they need to get in there, they can cut the caulk and get in there, but at the same time, it'll keep the fumes from going in there. So that's the only bad thing. Other than that, yeah, it may not be code, but I know I'm going to get some people on there. Oh, this is not 2 centimeters plus 1 millimeter and 5/8 to the left or to the right, and you can't do this shit. Well, hey, the guy's happy. It's going to be a repair, and it's going to work, and it's going to be safe, and it's going to be accessible for the future. Okay, guys, let's just put that all on there. We got our electrical there. There's the box, and he put a brace from stud to stud. He's going to put his box there. It's got a ground wire for it. We don't want to add an outlet here because look, guys, they already got like 7 outlets on this line, and look how many. And it's on a 15 amp circuit. We shut both off because the one next to it. But anyway, they're on 15 amps. So the last thing, normally I would just give them a box there, one of those blue remodel boxes with an outlet. But I don't want to load up that 15 amp any more than it is, especially in a garage, guys. Sometimes people will hook compressors up or lawn equipment. I don't know. I just don't want to give another outlet on a 15 amp. All right, guys, so you're getting ready to mud all that. And this is what we got here. Let me get a picture of that as well. Everything's looking good, very nice in there, and that's where our connection's going to be. Alright, he's going to put a lid on that, and now I'm sure everything will light up. Where's your tester? I'm going to go inside the house. Okay, let's take this tester, guys. And let's see what we get. Alicia's got all these back together. I'll test this one. It's easier to get to, but they're all working. Let me see here, guys. Yeah, we're all good. But that one's working, that one's working, that one's working. Alicia's going to check them all, but they're all working. How could they not be? Let's see here, guys. My back is not the same that it used to be. Alright. Now, guys, whenever you do a job like this, take pictures for liability. Take pictures, like, for instance, I'm going to take pictures here. Once he's all done, I'm going to take pictures of this glass. That way, they can see we didn't break nothing. What if 6 months down the road, something hits it and they break, or they shove something on the couch and it break? Who do you think they're going to blame? They're going to blame the electrician. The guy on the other side of the wall is who they're going to blame. So before we leave, we'll just make sure we get plenty of pictures of the mirror and send it to the owner. All right, guys, he's got it all lidded up. Now he's going to put this on to make sure it fits. If it fits, then we're going to take it back off and put caulking around it and set it in caulking just to make sure you don't get no automotive fumes in there the best we can. It's a solid plate, so nothing to worry about. You know, if you caulk the inside of it, nothing's getting in there. Okay, guys, this is the first coat. We're actually going to only go with one coat. The guy said it's a garage, and he's not interested in me spending 2 or 3 coats. So this is going to be a 1-coat deal. We are going to put some texture on it. This little bit here is a little fur baby. It's not a hole. It's just like a little fur baby coming out. So we'll just leave that and push it into the mud once it dries and put some texture over it, and you won't even see it. But that's it for that. Okay. We did a dry fit. It looks great. Everything's working. We're going to put some texture on that wall and call it done. We might put a blow dryer on it, and I think there's some paint over here. They said there was some paint. I think I see it right here. So we'll put some texture, and then we'll touch up the paint. I'll even probably paint that so it looks like the same color. So we'll go from there, guys. Well, I gave Alicia the word that this is just a garage, but she still wants to get the wet sanding out and smooth it out before I do texture. You watch, guys. She's gonna have me be mixing another tray of mud.
This is bad.
Hey, you said no mud.
You said okay to fill the little thing. So that you
Hey,
extra.
look at that.
Let's go.
Look
That's
at
the
that
corner.
little crumb.
That's your corner you were talking about, right?
Yeah, we'll see what you do with it. Okay, guys.
That's
Come on.
the corner you
I mean, there's no arguing with her. You know, I gave her the order. I said, hey, this is just a garage. They don't want a whole lot. but the OCD side of her comes out. Is that what it's called? OCD? Or C? What do you call it, Vinny? OCD or CD or what? Comes out in her. And she just has to get into it a little bit more. Well, hey. This business is 50-50, so I guess she can do what she wants. Oh, what's that little spot in the corner? There you go.
I fill it up. Remember?
Oh, that one. Right there, there's something right there. Look at that. Now that you're... Okay. Alright guys, we'll check in with her in a little bit. We're just going to let her do her thing. Looks good. You want to do this too, the cover? You want to West End that a little bit too?
You're being funny now.
Alright guys, we're going to let her do her thing, and when it's done, we'll put a blow dryer on it and see if we can't texture it, put some paint on it. Alright guys, she's putting a little blow dryer on each one. That way we can shoot our texture and call it done, I guess. It's too cold to wait for that texture to dry and paint it. We'll just get it all textured and put all his stuff down. Okay guys, I'm putting it heavy, and then Alicia, because it's cold, I'm putting it heavy, and then I'm putting it light. I'm putting some heavy, some light, and then Alicia's going to get her sponge and blend it in. So basically, we're just going to go a little bit over where somebody did some patching over here. So we're going to do theirs as well, right up there. And then I'll let Alicia work it with a sponge. And make sure that we get it all a little bit over. I'll leave a little bit. Leave a little bit. A little bit up here. I can see somebody did some patching. Okay, now Alicia will start working all these high spots, and then if we need, we'll do some more. Okay guys, she took the blow dryer and firmed it up a little bit, and now she's gonna go ahead and work it with a sponge and just try to make those pimples like these up here. You know, a lot of people complain about this spray shit, and they say, this shit ain't worth anything. But that's because they're just spraying it on like this and then looking at it and say, well, that don't match. No, if you're going to use a can and you're really not picky, then just spray the shit on and be done with it. But if you're picky or you're trying to get professional results, then you use your wet sponge. And it has shown the side you're using. She's using the coarse side. And that blends it in, and then if after she's done, if she like did a spot too much or something, then we can spray it again and then she'll go back at it. But for the initial, she's just going to go after it and try to blend it, and then from there, so you can't expect professional results. But listen, the other thing is people don't want to pay for you to haul. I mean, if you're just doing repair work, there's no way you can keep a compressor on your truck, your hopper, all the shit to clean it, and then just think how much work it would be to set it up, spray 5 minutes or even less, and then have to clean the hoses out, clean the hopper out. That's like shit, a couple hours by the time you're really done with it. And with that being said, now you got to charge the guy, what, $200 for texturing a wall, when we can do this in 15 minutes. And like I said, a lot of guys bitch about this because they spray it on and they go, well, voila, this is what you get. But if you really know what you're doing, you take that sponge and you start working it. And yes, we spray the plate too. That way when it's painted, it'll all look textured. That plate will almost disappear. But see, she's getting it where it matches the top. Look at the top. This is existing, and this is hers right there. You can't beat it. Look at that. Okay, we'll let her work on it for a little bit, and then we'll get back to it. This is the condos where we're at here, guys. It's beautiful here. It's about 4 or 5 miles from the beach. I got parking here. Vinny parked in front of the garage. We're working right here. Alright guys, it's looking real good, man. She's got it blended really well. It matches exactly the upper part and the lower part. And she's just kind of, the reason why she's drying it fast, not so we can paint it. We're not going to paint it, I don't think. We might, who knows. But it also keeps the texture from being wet too long and sagging. You don't want it to sag, especially if you put it on heavy like I do. This will firm it up and stop it right in its tracks. But anyway, okay guys, everything is back in order. Everything is cleaned up. There's the texture job. We decided we're not going to paint. The texture's too damp. But everything's back. His garage is nice and clean. We're out of here. Say goodbye, Vinny. Alright guys, the guy's pretty happy to have his electrical back. He's been using extension cords. We're gonna take off, and yeah, before these fucking gardeners make a mess. Alright guys, talk to you later. Bye bye.